Good morning, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and I'm going to show you today how to make a little fairy house with a antique finish. And so we're going to start off with rolling a ball of clay, and then we're going to roll it to create an oblong shape like this, and then we're going to form it between our fingers like this to create the shape of a block, which is going to be the body of the house. You can press it against the table to create the sides of it. We just kind of want to create a little square block. And then on the top here, this would be the top of the house. We want to pinch it a little bit to make it come to a point. And when you pinch it, you want to squeeze this side too so that it stays uniform. Just try to keep it all very uniform. You can blend out any kind of imperfections in it with your thumb, and that's the shape we want to end up with pretty much right now. Okay, so then we're going to take another piece of clay and roll a ball, and then roll it into a noodle like this, so it's like that. And then we're going to flatten that, and this is going to be for what would be, I guess, the decking of the house, the roof. This is going to be for the roof. I think the term is decking. Correct term. So we want to make it like, so it's going to fold over like this. And I think probably the best thing to do is have it terminate right about here, so you can lay it on there, like that, like right about there, and then here down to here, and then mark it. And then you can take a knife, so just a X-Acto knife, and cut it off there. And it would be good if it was overhanging a little bit to the front, like that. And then just form it in there. And you can squeeze it at the top to give it a nice point there. You can take a wood sculpting tool, you can take a knife or something like that and put a little notch in here to kind of add to the, that there's a separation there, a joint. You can also take a tool like this. This is a tool for cutting polymer clay. You can also use a knife and just cut down, just to shave the back off so it's even in the back, like that. And you also can make this as thick or thin as you want. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll little balls and then roll it into oblong shapes and press them flat, almost flat, and lay them on to be shingles here. This all about the same size. Now, sculpture is a lot of fun. It's very relaxing. It's a great creative outlet. It's great for families and children. Really quite relaxing. Then we want to start the next row about coming down about halfway, and we want to make that first one, that first shingle, to be like half the size of the first one, so that when we lay the next one on, it will be staggered to the first row. It's kind of hard to maintain that going up. If you have a problem with it, you know, don't worry. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And you know, with anything, you know, you want to practice. The more you practice, the better you become at something. So if first you don't succeed, try again, as they say. And I'm going to do one more row here. And then we'll do the other side. I'm going to speed up the camera now as I do the other side. Here and bring it back to regular speed. And there's a number of ways you can do that top peak there. You can just leave it like that, which is what I think I'm going to do. I might take a sculpting tool here and just define that termination there like that. You can also put a cap on top or something like that to, you know, cover it. And then the next thing I want to do is make a chimney. So I'm going to take a bit of clay and roll it into a ball, and then into the shape of an oblong shape like this, and then square it off the same way I made the body of the house, remember? Like that. And just put it right here. Just kind of blend it, press it into the side of the roof here. And then I can take the back end of a paintbrush and put a hole in the top. Looks like that. Let's straighten this out a little bit. If you press down, if it's leaning one way or the other, you can press it down so that it's even to the table. Okay, now we're going to put a window in, and I'm just going to use the back of a sculpting tool. I have a couple. Let me show you these tools I've got here. These two tools are wood clay sculpting tools. They can be used for regular clay or polymer clay like we're doing today. And I've actually had these tools for many years. They're about the only tools I use for the most part, but recently I picked up these ball tools. They come in 3 different sizes. I still don't use them that much, but once in a while they come in handy. But I'm going to take this tool here, the back of this tool, and I'm going to put a round hole about center the roof point there. And then just kind of smooth it out. Just want to play with it a little bit to get it nice and smooth. And then what you can do is you can take a small bit of clay like this, and roll a little noodle to the shape of that. Actually, that might be a little bit large. Maybe take that down a little bit there and roll it again, make a little noodle and put it in here so that the window will have 4 lights. Basically it will have, if you could use your imagination and there was glass in there, there'll be four different panes of glass. I'm going to put another one there. Now there's 3, and then we put another one here, and now there's 4. And then what you can do is take take any kind of tool and just smooth it out, carve it in, define it a little bit. A lot of fairy house designs have windows like this. I think they're pretty neat. I put them in a couple of my houses. I recently put them in my mushroom fairy houses. If you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. So just, define it like that. And then what you can do is to frame it, you can take a noodle of clay, it's got to be fairly thin. You can roll it out on the table like this. You want it to go all the way around that window. So it's almost there, I think. Yeah, like that, and then just lay it on, and just go around the window. It might be a little squiggly at first, but then once you get it on there, it should be all right. And then you can just cut off the excess here. And then you can take another tool, really any tool, I've been used to these, obviously. If I've been using them for year after year, I get used to using them. But you could, if you don't have a tool like mine, you can use something else. You just I'm just blending these, joining these pieces together here. And then you can, make it rounder by just moving it around. This polymer clay has to be kneaded before you start. By the way, you want to knead it. It's called conditioning. It gets all the ingredients in the clay moving and working together properly before, while you make it, and also for cooking purposes, baking purposes. And I'm using Sculpt 3 brand, and I really like it, and I usually recommend it to people that watch my videos because it's really a good clay and fairly easy to work with. So it's looking better now. Now what we're going to do is take the back of a paintbrush. You know, you see me use paintbrushes a lot. They're really nice tools. This is one I have been using for a long time. I'm going to lay it on the top, on the front of the house here, and I'm going to roll it back and forth to create the shape of a doorway. I'm just blending it in to smooth it out there a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll take another one of my wood tools, and I want to make it look like the door is made up of planks. And so I'm going to just draw or carve little lines in there. And that gives it the appearance that it has planks made up of wood planks. I'll use this tool again, and I'll put a little window here, a little round window there. Flare it out a little bit to make it a little bit bigger, and another one here. And now is a good time to go back and just touch up and smooth wherever you want to. You can use a brush and alcohol to get rid of imperfections and fingerprints, and just smooth it out. I like to leave texture in. I like to leave my sculpting marks in because I like the way it looks when it's finished. And so I'm going to leave mine in for the most part. And when we come back, we'll start the finish. Okay, now we're going to be using pastels to finish the house, and I'm gonna do I want to do kind of an antique-y finish. The house is going to be blue, but I want it to be mottled blue. I want it to be like they painted it 100 years ago, and there's just some blue showing. So I want to kind of antique it. The door is going to be red, and then these colors are going to be used to kind of give me that antique-y look. Now, the best, when you buy pastels, the best ones to buy are professional artist grade, because they are going to have more pigment in them if you bought something for a coloring book, for example. So these, unfortunately, were marked as professional grade and were not. So I don't want to give you the name of this particular kind, and actually these are the first ones I've ever bought. So, but it takes with these, it will take a bit of time to get the color to get in there and actually show that much. But basically, I just dip it in. The way I get the powder is I scrape the pastels with a blade. I'll show you here. Take a blade here and just do that, and then you get the powder that way. I want to show this. This is important, I think, to kind of give you an idea that, you know, using color in your finishes, using multicolors as opposed to just one like solid paint, is going to look really nice. It's going to look a lot better. So you shouldn't be afraid to use it. I'm just using this as a base finish, this color is a base coat right now. And then I'll start going into some others, and I'll just pat them on there, not necessarily trying to cover it all, but just trying to get a mottled appearance. A little bit of this color in here too. Go back here, a little bit more of this. I want to get some black on the roof here. I want to get some black around the top here where the smoke would come out of the chimney. I'm going to wipe that that black off a little bit so it's really kind of heavy. Whoops. You do have to kind of pay attention to how you handle the house because it is soft right now. We put the finish on before we bake it. And now I'm going to go into the blue. I'm going to dab it off. I don't want it heavy on my brush because I just want to test the waters a little bit. I'm going to use a smaller brush on the door. Use red on the door here. When I was a little kid, or actually not, when I was a teenager I should say, when my father was out of town, I painted our door red, and when he came home he was so happy about it. He really liked that door red. He sure did. It looked so welcoming. Just kind of reminded me of that. So I'm just going to kind of put the blue on a little bit more. Yeah, it's getting there. And then I can put a little bit more beige on. A bit more sienna. A bit more brown. A little bit here. Just kind of spot touching it. And there we go. I mean, I could probably work out a little bit later and maybe touch it up some, but that's basically how you work on it and do the finishes. Remember, feel free to use colors, use different shades of different colors, and if you're looking for a kind of an antique-y finish like that, that's how you would do it. Again, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Please rate the video and comment or leave any questions in the comment section. And if you have an idea for a video that you would like to see, just leave that in the comment section as well. Thank you so much for watching.